Welcome back. It is yours truly, Nick of Movie AV Impulse. And today we are going to be talking about the Gremlins. That's right, the Gremlins. I told you I was going to put a nice little twist on this to kind of make you think something different. And that's what I am here to do. This was brought to my attention from a good friend back home. So Kayla, this video is for you. She at once said to my wife, you know, the Gremlins really ain't as bad as we think they are. And why is that? Well, stay tuned right after this intro, and I'm going to tell you why. Before we get into it, make sure you hit that like button, as it helps me get into that algorithm. You don't have to subscribe, but I hope you do, because December, I got a fun-filled, Christmas-packed events for you guys. I'm also going to be on KB's channel. Further details to come. If you don't know who KB is, I will link him down below. He does some great conversations. He has a whole segment on it. So if you don't know who he is, once again, I will link him down below. And he just did one with Terrell on Friday night, and it was awesome. Everybody loves Terrell, so I'll link him down below as well. But anyways, let's get into this. The Gremlins. Why in the world we thought that the Gremlins were actually the evil ones and or the bad guys is beyond me, because after watching this movie again, as a kid I really didn't understand it, but like I said, our friend Kayla back home, she brought it to our attention that we are the bad guys. We are the evil ones. We are the assholes. Gizmo was brought home for Billy by his father after he bought it off a Chinese shop.
With Mokwai comes much responsibility.
Three main things you have to remember. Don't flash a bright light, don't get it wet, and don't feed it after midnight. Gizmo was probably one of the softest, most loving animals that I've ever seen, but us being unreasonable, unreliable pet owners that most people are, unlike myself or my wife or any real animal lover out there, the second something happens, we go and we want to experiment. What's the first thing that happens? Well, we got Gizmo wet. And what happens? He pops out these replicas basically of him, who are not really that evil. Listen, this is why. When they come out, they're just what you would call unexperienced. They just don't know what's going on. So it is our job as pet owners to help them adapt to our lifestyle. And we didn't do that. Instead, Billy gathers up, one of them and brings them to a scientist at the school to do what? Run experiments and run tests. Now, he didn't bring Gizmo himself. He brought the inbred version of Gizmo. And what is the first thing that this scientist does? Well, they drop water in so that they could see what happens and how it reacts, how the animal reacts. And what does he do? Boom, he starts popping out all these other replicas of themselves, which then brings more inbreds into our world. Then what does he do after that? The scientist sits there and starts poking and prodding and taking blood and doing all this other stuff. And then we come to find out that you don't want to feed them after midnight. Well, I guess the inbred gizmos, they got a little smart and they cut the wire on the alarm clock, which he thought it was like 11:30. Can't feed him after midnight. But in reality, it was more like 2:30 in the morning, because they show a scene of the scientist and the scientist's clock says 2:30 in the morning. So at that point, when they ate after midnight, then they start to go into what they call these cocoon stages. And that's where the real evil comes in. But is it really their fault, or is it our fault for being the irresponsible animal owners that most of these people are? Now, when it came to Billy's dog, same thing. He was very irresponsible. If you really think about it, bringing his dog to work, shoving him in a cabinet, closing the cabinet. I mean, really? Are you going to keep a dog in a cabinet where you work at? That's a little irresponsible. So once again, who's really the bad guys? And then we want to get mad at the animals when they start to attack us. Now, once we got the off-breed of the real evil ones, that's when all of this came about, to where they started a whole bunch of mayhem. They're blowing things up, and the only person I was really happy to see die, was the old lady, because she was just a straight bitch. I can't really, she's like the villain of the movie. Everybody hates her. So when she got thrown out of the stairs, out of her house, hey, I think we were all a little happy on that one, because she was the Wicked Witch of the damn West. But we were really the irresponsible animal owners. And to be honest, this is what still happens today. Granted, Gizmo's, breed really doesn't exist, but this is something that goes on every day. We do experiments on animals to quote unquote make sure they're safe for us. And I know that they have, you could do trial stages of certain things, but I mean, for the most part, we're taking animals, especially rabbits. And once again, I mean, honestly, look at this girl. Would you really want to hurt her? I mean, you don't really want to hurt rabbits, do you? But yet and still, we run experiments, once again, to hurt these animals to find out if they're safe for us. I'm just saying. Now, back to the regularly scheduled video. Rats. I mean, I know nobody really cares about rats, but animals are animals. We're all breathing. We're all living. Besides being a dark comedy / horror movie, I think what the Gremlins was really going for, Steven Spielberg, was maybe bringing a little bit of attention to how bad of animal owners we really are. And maybe we should smarten up and treat animals the way that they're supposed to be treated, as our equals. Like me and my wife, we call our animals, our pets, our kids, because even only being, if you don't have any kids, but you have animals, you are a parent. That animal relies on you for everything. So in our sense, if we were to just sit back and listen to the rules of, Gizmo, then we probably wouldn't have had any of this happen. But us being irresponsible animal owners, Billy basically got what he deserved. And to blame the Gremlins was just kind of evil. So I know this is kind of a weird subject and kind of touchy, but it just really does bring light to us as pet owners. Is, they rely on us and we rely on them, because when you come home sad, who's there to put you in a good mood?
My name is Doug. I have just met you, and I love you. Squirrel!
Your animals, your pets, your kids. So, maybe we should step it up and take better care of our animals and take better care of our kids, because in my opinion, after watching this, thank you, Kayla, we were the straight assholes. We were the evil ones in the movie, not the Gremlins. But anyways, just a little short video for y'all. Hope you enjoyed it. My top 5 for Wednesday will be
I Am an Immortal.
Special today is blueberry waffles.
Why are you telling me this?
Because I want you to believe in me.
You're not a god. You can take my word for it. This is 12 years of Catholic school talking.
I could come back if you're not ready.
Still not going to tell you. You'll find out. And other than that, let me know what you think about the Santa hat. I kind of like this damn thing. My wife bought it for me, and I think I'm gonna wear it the whole month of December, except for when I go on KB's channel live. Probably not gonna wear it because this is hot, really hot. I'm sweating. Anyways, thanks for tuning in. Make sure to hit that like, and I will see y'all on Wednesday. Oh, and once again, maybe one day
You may be ready. Until then, Mogwai will be waiting.
Thank you. You love me. You really love me. not going anywhere.